marriage.
It's what brings us together.
Today. Yep, perfect impression. Impressions on this show, 10 out of 10.
Perfect. Okay.
Ben, we should start this show.
Yes, we should. Welcome to Azeroth Roundtable, episode 311. My name is Ben Bumhofer. It is Friday night. Stuff happened earlier in the week in WoW. A patch dropped. Will we talk about it? Will we completely skip it? Who knows? That's one of the fun things about the show. We kind of don't really know what's going on. But I do have some things that I do want to discuss and want to talk about. And the best person to do that with is John Jagger. How's it going, John?
Hello, Ben. It is Friday night here in Azeroth, and I am super happy to be joining you here at the round table. As a matter of fact, Ben, it's just us. It's alone in here. The light is
you know
right.
Why?
The mood
you know
is
why?
tonight for
Okay.
podcasting. That's right.
It is. It really is. Were you trying to do like a whole like rhyming poetic thing?
I don't know. Maybe. I figured if I held the hello long enough, that could be a whole section of the show. Just like that's free time off the show. John held hello for a good length of time.
Oh, so are you just saying that we're doing filler now?
Yeah, this is gonna be Dragon Ball Z Goku Learns to Drive episode of the show.
Okay.
This is gonna be an episode that's remembered fondly by fans, but does not make it when they do a best of or the most important episodes. Yeah, this episode won't make the Kai version of Azeroth Roundtable.
Okay, so this and like, well, pretty much every other episode, I would say.
Yeah, there's a lot of charging up on this show.
Okay, like mostly through Warlords of Draenor.
Yes, it's a whole episode of generating a spirit bomb.
Perfect. Anyways, gosh, Dragon Ball Super's great. Okay,
Yeah,
that's not what we're talking about here, though.
But what if we did?
That's true. It's true. Anyways, so okay, patch 3.1, 8.1.5 dropped on Tuesday.
I think we should talk about patch 3.1. What is patch 3.1? Let's look it up.
It was Wrath of the Lich King. It might have been Ulduar.
Secrets of Ulduar. That's a good patch to talk about. What did you want to say about Ulduar, Ben?
You know what? I remember that was the beginning of the end of our raid team.
But it was the most fun time, too.
It really was. We had a lot of fun during that patch.
Ulduar's a great raid.
Definitely. In fact, it's funny because this week is time walking for Wrath of the Lich King, which means that it's time walking for Ulduar.
Here's my hot take on Ulduar. I think the first half of Ulduar is way better than the second half.
I agree.
Hot takes.
Dun-dun-dun.
Okay, well,
that's
all
our
right.
hot takes thing.
Were there any other patches you wanted to talk about tonight, Ben?
Actually, patch 8.1.5.
Oh, okay, great. Let's talk about that one, too.
Yeah, well, okay, first of all, we're probably going to get into some story spoilers, so sorry, everybody knows how I am about that, but there's things that I actually want to talk to John about specifically that involve story, so
okay.
You've been warned.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you played enough of the war campaign that you got like the follow-up thing, because you know how there's the whole Sarfang choice that you have to make?
Mm-hmm.
And then did you do the follow-up quest to that on the Horde side?
Maybe, but I probably know what it is. Are you talking about decision number 2?
Yes, I'm talking about decision number 2.
I have not done it yet.
Okay. So I did the first part of that, and then it's like, oh, do this thing at your table. And I'm like, great. Before I did the first part of this quest, I just did send out 3 missions, and there's no way I can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, but you've seen the cutscene, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I've been thinking about and everything, and it has to do with something that Derek Proudmoore says.
Okay.
Spoilers, he comes back to life. Anyways, so he shows up. You might want to cover your ears because I am going to be talking about this.
Too late.
Garrosh gets killed by Thrall.
Oh my god! Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I don't know if Nevermore actually ever saw that cutscene.
She hasn't. I ruined it for her in a Toys R Us.
Oh, it was in a Toys R Us?
Yes.
Oh, man.
It was one of those rare cases where anybody who has listened to Core knows I have a don't be a dick about spoilers, but don't be a baby about spoilers policy. So angry was I at Nevermore's reaction to me starting to talk about Garrosh and Thrall's fight an entire expansion later that I blew up and turned around and in the most obnoxious voice ever went, Thrall kills Garrosh in a duel. If you wanted to be surprised by it, you should have played it while it was the expansion.
That's like the video I saw of, I mean, different situation, of course, but the video I saw of someone driving past a Barnes & Noble when Half-Blood Prince came out, and they just yelled, Snape kills Dumbledore, and drove away, and you hear someone just going, no!
It's not the same, though, because this would be like doing it at the next book coming out about the previous book.
Like I said, not the same situation, but anyways. Right. So, going back to Derek, right? Yeah. I'm not just like making people up now.
Going back to Fred Theramore. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, Fred. Old Fred. Yep. No, so Derek Proudmore.
Okay.
When he meets up on the ship and everything, and he says, you know, Sylvanas hasn't twisted my mind yet, or it isn't controlling me, or whatever, something like that. Are the undead actually controlled by Sylvanas?
Well, because supposedly they're not. Okay, sorry, go on. I thought that was your question. For some reason, I thought when you got to the question part, I was supposed to answer. I didn't know there were more.
Yes.
Please go on.
Sorry, there's a little bit more here.
Okay, go on. I mean,
there's definitely, you know, the Lich King was controlling the undead, which is the whole point of the Scourge. Mm-hmm. And then when he lost control, they were all just happy-go-lucky, you know?
Yeah.
We've talked about in the books and stuff how, you know, if they're parts of the brain rot or whatever, the personalities can change and, you know, just all that stuff. We've gone over all that. So how is it that Derek's all like, oh, no, she hasn't turned me. She hasn't controlled me and everything.
Yeah.
Is this something that's like is even doable?
I think so. I mean, I think that was always a big part of Sylvanas, was this idea that she leaves the people she reses with free will to some degree. Yeah. You know, that was always part of the deal. Now, that doesn't mean we're not about to be set up for a big twist. I don't think Blizzard would pull the rug out from under people and be like, surprise, undead, you never had free will. I hope you enjoyed your RPing, you suckers. Yeah, I don't think they would do that. However, what I thought about when I saw the cinematic was Sylvanas is crafty.
Mm-hmm.
What if him saying, no, I got free before she did anything to me? What if she told him to say that?
Oh yeah, I know. That's the thing.
That's like, the thing that a Banshee-controlled person would say.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, what if he's just on her side at this point, too? I mean, there's always that possibility. And we go through a lot of the information and kind of seeing how an undead goes through this whole arc when they are raised with Tide Sage, whatever his face is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is essentially for the people who didn't, you know, level an undead and go through the Lillian Voss arc and everything. You know, we see Lillian Voss going through and kind of, you know, walking him through what it's like to be undead and how you have to leave all that other stuff behind and all that. So I don't know. I see it as him of his own free will, but is it just something like he hasn't had enough time with, say, Lillian Voss or other undead or anything to kind of realize what he is now, if he is, you know, free of mind and on the Alliance side?
Yeah, I don't know. My money is 100% on he gets Jaina's trust and stabs her in the back. Or maybe she catches it. You know, maybe it's like that cool moment for the Alliance where they get to go, she knew all along. And now we have another reason to be mad at Sylvanas, because we haven't come up with enough yet. We need another one.
So you mean the Alliance would get another cool moment, not the cool moment?
Right.
Okay,
Ben,
gotcha.
let me tell you, the Horde only gets cool moments when the Alliance allows us to have cool moments.
That's just going to be the ongoing theme of the show, just when the Alliance allows it.
Look, if you aren't enjoying this episode of Azeroth Roundtable, it's because the Alliance hasn't allowed you to enjoy this episode of Alliance Roundtable. Wow. That was a slip up.
That was a slip up, but that's secretly
Freudian
because we actually play Alliance characters.
I don't.
But no one knows that.
I do, actually.
But,
I don't.
No, and see, this is the thing that I'm actually going to be really curious to see how it plays out, because, I mean, so far for this expansion, everything's just been kind of on point, and there's no underlying anything with it, you know? The burning of Teldrassil was, it was Sylvanas.
Yeah.
And...
Nuance.
I mean, Dazzler's been sacked.
Nuance.
Okay. You know, the good guys did that one. Remember, don't forget that. So I'm curious if there's going to be more subterfuge, more, trickiness and everything involved with this, which I, for one, would really enjoy and love to see. And the thing is that this kind of goes in with something that I wanted in Legion so bad, which was for Varian to die and become undead and see what the repercussions would be. So this is probably as close as I'm going to get to that.
It's brought you full circle. That was what you've been latched onto since the moment he was gone. You were like, ooh, he's going to be raised.
Well, no. As soon as I saw what happened to him, I knew he wasn't going to be raised. But as soon as I saw that first cutscene, I thought it would be a really cool story point to see how the Alliance reacts and stuff like that. So with what's her face Menethos, as well as Derek
what's her
Proudmoore.
face Menethos?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Well,
I don't know who you're talking about.
was it Caitlyn or whatever? Arthas' sister.
Okay, his last name's Menethil.
That was close.
This is what was throwing me off.
Okay, what's her face Menethil? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
As well as, Derek Proudmoore, apparently, going to figure it out and stuff like that. I mean, how is the Alliance going to react to this? Plus, how... I just keep going back to him. How the hell is Gen going to deal with, now we have an undead Proudmoore hanging out with us?
All right. Gen kills Derek.
Okay.
Jaina kills Gen.
Okay.
Anduin kills Jaina.
Okay.
Thrall kills Anduin.
Okay.
Reanimated Garrosh kills Thrall.
Okay.
We kill Garrosh.
Okay.
Pandaria is finally complete.
Okay, there we go. That makes sense.
Yep.
I like that.
It's the next 10 years of WoW just mapped out right there for you.
All right, perfect. Good. I'm all in. I'd like to see how Pandaria ends.
Yep. We nailed it. We got it.
Yep. Yeah, and the Golden Lotus area, it's all cleaned up too.
So there was actually a really interesting story today on Blizzard Watch by Matthew Rossi. And he's an interesting writer. He's one of those people that I find I disagree with a lot, but I still like the writing and all of that, and so I'm compelled to read. I like, despite what you might believe, I like opinions that don't always agree with me, even though I rarely will admit it.
Really?
But I really liked the writing, and actually in this case I did agree with him a lot. Basically, although I hate when people bring up ludonarrative dissonance, and that's what it was all about. But that said, it was really good because it actually sort of posited something that I've been kind of feeling as of late. Not a great feeling, but WoW for me is definitely a comfort game. It's the game that I can play while I'm watching things on Netflix. And I'm starting to get more and more of those games in my life. Diablo is very much that game. I've just recently started to get hooked on Warframe, which is very much one of those games. The rise of the looter shooter that we are in is becoming a situation where there's a lot of games that you can kind of absent-mindedly play, grind levels, grind gear, grind loot, and do other things at the same time. That's what I kind of play WoW for. What I enjoy most about WoW right now is the story. But that story for me doesn't exist in the game and in the gameplay. And his story posits that WoW has become a game that is more fun to watch the cutscenes of and watch the story of than it is a game to play. And whether you agree with that or not, I think it's an interesting thing to examine, because I definitely get more excited about the newest cinematic, the newest expansion. Like, right now is an exciting time because I know there's big patch content that's going to come out soon or be talked about soon, and that means new spoilers for the story, because that's what I'm excited about. But I'm not sitting here going, oh, I can't wait to play it. I can't wait to read about it on Blizzard Watch. You know what I mean? Or Wowhead or whatever. Wherever it's going to be spoiled for me. I can't wait for a website to spoil the plot for me. That's what I'm looking forward to. Not, I can't wait to play that in the game. Honestly, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah.
So, it's an interesting notion. I found it interesting. I found I kind of agreed with it. But you are definitely more into the gameplay of WoW. What do you think about that notion?
Okay, let me use a very good example of something that just happened very recently, like, say, 2 days ago.
I was playing WoW 2 days ago.
I know, so was I.
We'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
So, okay. Maybe it wasn't 2 days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday. No, it was yesterday after Raid. I'm
thinking about something else.
I'm talking about my story.
Okay, sorry.
Not our combined story where I kicked your ass.
Okay, no. We're going to talk about that for sure. That just got moved from a maybe to yes, we're going to talk about it.
Okay, anyways. So, talking about, playing the game for the story or versus, going and seeing the story and everything, I obviously am just trying to sidetrack us back to that. Mm-hmm. I kind of, I understand where you're coming from, and getting to that story content and stuff is the thing that's really driving me through it. However, when there's not any sort of compelling quests in the middle between that stuff, that's where I kind of have the disconnect. So, getting the quest from someone saying, hey, Bane really wants to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And I love the fact that I can go up to Nathanos and I can say, hey, Bane wants to see me in secret, or, oh, never mind. And, right. I have those two options. I was really happy. Totally told him that Bane wanted to see me because loyal Sylvanas.
Mm-hmm. I want to win this war, Ben.
I know, me too.
High five.
Woo! So here's the thing. From there, sail over to Tiergard Sound. I'm like, okay, cool. Getting up to the point where you get on the ship, I'm like, this is great. I'm enjoying all this stuff. And then you get the quest of, okay, get these 3 keys. I'm like, okay, kind of makes sense. And then it's like, oh, and just randomly kill 10 people. I'm like, okay, that's where the disconnect happens with me. Up to a point where it's like, okay, I'm doing stuff that serves the story as opposed to just busy work quests. Mm-hmm. And when there's too much of the busy work quests, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm in the middle of this awesome story thing, but I got Netflix going on over here.
Right.
And then, okay, cutscene's about to happen, or I'm turning in a quest, pause, look back at it and everything. And it's kind of a disservice to the player to just throw in that busy work. Right. It's one of the reasons why School and I didn't get along as well as we could have, because I understood the concepts, I knew how to do the stuff or whatever, and then you're throwing homework at me. I always had an issue with the homework. It's like, I'm at the point where I know what's going on. In the case of WoW, I'm driving the story forward, and I get that it's like, okay, well, we want to commandeer the ship now, so now you have to kill 10 people. It's like, okay, then there should only be 10 people on the ship, and they shouldn't respawn, and I should be phased or something, because guess what? I got 2 of the keys, and then I had to backtrack through the ship in order to get the other one, and by that point, more people had, spawned. So it's like, okay, got to kill more than just the people who I needed to kill, I don't know. It's that gamey disconnect that I have issues with. Yeah. Whereas if this was a single player game, there would only be 10 people. And it'd be like, clear the ship. Cool, clear the ship. Done. So.
Yeah, sometimes the stuff that you get phased for versus the stuff you don't get phased for, I don't always understand the decision there. And I feel like in a world where we have phasing, Uh, I feel like that elements of what you're talking about where, you know, what are you telling the player to do? We're telling them to go take the ship. Then the quest should be take the ship, not kill 10 people. Take the ship, and you phase them into that. Now, I understand they have a fear of over-phasing and things like that. They want to use it responsibly, but I don't know if what they feel is responsible is the same thing that I view as responsible. Like, to me, that's always the weird thing, is, hey, they've got our people. Go free 3 of them. And you free 3 of them, and then you look around, and there's like 8 more going.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, I needed to free 3. That's all I got time for.
Yeah,
and
you're the 3 that we're good with.
Yeah, and there's no explanation as to why it has to be 3, or, even an effect where once you freed 3, the rest break free and run out, or anything like that.
Or the cages are just empty from your perspective.
Right, and to a degree, we've been playing MMOs for a long time, and it's always been this way, and so there's an element of it's not really fair to hold them to that standard, because that's just the way it is. But also, WoW is trying to stay relevant this long after it came out, and they have clearly the technology to do some of this stuff. It's not like it's a case of, oh, they just can't do it, it's an old game. The technology exists. I think that kind of thought needs to go into it. A quest should feel like, oh, this was big and important and was given time. It shouldn't feel like, and then they sprinkled MMO Dust on the game,
All right, MMO Dust. We got a title.
It's the dust that, just gives you the shitty MMO stuff.
It binds the MMO together is what you're saying.
Right. Oh, we have a compelling story, and you make choices, and there's cutscenes, and cool characters, and all of that. Now go skin badgers. Why? Because we sprinkled it with MMO Dust, and that's what the dust told us to do.
Speaking of, I am not a big fan of gathering a whole bunch of mats and stuff for the alchemy quest. So I just go over here and do all the stuff. It's like, I get I'm getting ingredients, but...
MMO Dust, Ben. MMO Dust. And it's a delicate balance. You've got to find that way to keep players engaged and keep players interested over a long period of time. I will say, we talked about this, I think last week or a couple weeks ago. I don't think WoW's gameplay, I don't think it's fair to put a gameplay change to make it suddenly more action-oriented or something like that. And the sad reality is we're playing a game where combat is what it was, 100 years ago, whenever WoW first came out. It's not exciting. I'm sure there are people that find it exciting. I don't, but it's not going to be exciting combat. So at the end of the day, you've got to win the battles you can, while you're putting quests and stuff together. I just feel like sometimes it's clear that somebody put a lot of time and effort into some of these quests, and sometimes these quests feel like, I don't know, do MMO stuff. And nothing takes me out of the game more right now than when the game just seems to go, I don't know, do MMO stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. And that's one of the reasons why when I was doing the kind of the questing stuff and everything, it was very engaging. I actually did have a movie playing, and I stopped for most of that quest stuff. Yeah. It was pretty great. I love the idea of Bane busting down a door. It's like, hey, they might come attack us when the door is busted down. I'm like, great. Then only 2 people come out. And I'm like, okay.
Yep.
This is a ship. It's not a giant ship either. More people should know what's going on instead of just kind of standing under decks, just being all like, hey, my post is to stand by this box.
That's what I do.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No.
But I feel like it's noticeable.
I will say, though, that I don't know. Okay, so slightly different thing. I think I'm having an issue with certain stuff. And I don't know if it's just WoW in general, just other games, just content that I'm digesting or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of mad at myself for this, but I'm starting to get nitpicky where I never was before.
Okay.
like, for certain things.
This is kind of something I was going to bring up as well, so by all means, go ahead, because I'm known to nitpick, and so it'll be good for you to do the same before I do.
And it's such, I don't even know if it's an OCD thing or whatever, but it's something that I'm noticing more and more. Maybe it's because I watch all those CinemaSins videos, and I'm just kind of like, oh, huh, I'll just tons of stuff like that. So you go through, you take over the ship and everything, and it's you who there's a 99% chance you've never really done any sort of boating before. Bane, who lived on a plateau most of his life. Derek, okay, he's
a ship captain.
A ship captain. I think that he's lived a very long life as a seaman. Then you have the Tide Sage, who maybe as well. The four of you use the boat. You're able to steer it. You're able to sail it all the way to Theramore. And it's one of those things I'm just kind of like, I think they need more people.
Maybe. I mean, they did say that the Tide Sages are able to help with boats in a significant way. Maybe that's enough people. I can maybe. I'll tell you mine. All right, mine's I think nitpickier.
Okay.
So
good.
I'm sure we will talk.
You can be the bad guy.
I'm sure we will talk more about it. But speaking of we dropped some MMO in here. I did the quest to unlock the Zandalari trolls.
Me too.
Weird. And there were elements of that quest where it's just like rolling my eyes. It was like, I wish they had just said, okay, you unlocked them. Because the quest to actually unlock them is interesting. But the interesting beats are constantly interrupted by sprinkles of MMO. Because it's just like, okay, now, what if you were a bug and you had to not get eaten by frogs? Why? Why is that a thing? Because Talanji needs to learn that she's willing to sacrifice herself. That's not what she's doing.
No. Trying to sacrifice herself for her people. You are not her people.
I'm not her people, and she isn't sacrificing shit. I am. I'm about to get eaten by frogs. She's watching me. Yeah. And when she hits the frogs, they don't fight her. They continue to chase me. What was the lesson learned there? That Talanji's willing to beat up frogs that are trying to eat a hero? Okay, lesson learned, I guess. And then they're like, okay, great. You've learned that lesson well. Good on you. Now, do we have any MMO sauce for this raptor? Nope. He's just going to talk to you. Okay. I actually liked that one. I thought Gonk got the best because he posed an interesting question. I was like, huh, that's interesting. I actually sat there and went, yeah, that's interesting.
I didn't even have an easy answer. I'm like, huh, still kind of thinking about it.
Then they get to stupid Paku or whatever the hell his name is, the pterodactyl. And he's like, come up these stairs. Haha, wind. And you don't even have to get to the top. You can sit there and watch Talanji walk to the top, and he goes, you did a good job. It's not even wind for you. It's wind for an NPC that's going to get up there no matter what.
Yeah, who says, hey, maybe we should try it too.
And then when she gets up there, the wind turns off. So it's not even like, well, you have to do it too, human. It's, you could just sit there. I tried to get up there, and I got a little overzealous, and I tried to grappling hook, and I got down back to the bottom, and I was like, okay, and then it ended because Talanji got up there. And
I tried running up a couple times. I tried to chi torpedo up and everything, and the thing is every time that I got blown back, I swear I was nowhere near an actual tornado. So I don't know if it's like, oh, only Talanji can do it, which I'm sure there's probably a ton of people who are like, no, Ben, I got up there, and that's fine. But it's just one of those things where it's like, at least let it go till I make it up there, because otherwise it is just pointless.
Why did you do this? Why did you waste my time?
They said, champion, you might as well try it too. It's like, okay.
All right,
like,
I guess. Well, it didn't work
because it's not hard. Or
I was so bored I decided to try to use my grappling hook. Whoops.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's stuff like that that gets put in the game that I'm just like, all this is a complete waste of my time. And it's not a fun waste of time. There are quests, plenty of quests. I enjoyed my leveling experience through this game quite a lot.
I will say, even like the rest of the questing and stuff was pretty decent, except for the whole, kill 10 people or whatever.
Except for the part where I had to go to YouTube to find where a bunch of captains were.
You did?
Yes, because they didn't show up on my stupid map. It's like, you need to go tell so-and-so to go do the thing. And I was like, okay. And I walked outside and he was right there, or he or she was right there. And I was like, hey, go do this. And they were like, all right. That's
weird.
And then it's like, now go tell so-and-so that the armies need to go. Nothing on my map. Nothing anywhere. Nothing in the quest journal. No description in the quest text. This isn't Mancrick's wife.
You know where she is.
I went to a website to look where this person is, and it led me to the wrong place because this quest spawns them in a different place. I had to go watch a stupid YouTube video.
Did you try reloading your UI first?
No, because the YouTube video did a better job. And then I went and did that. And then they said, okay, well, there's another person you have to go talk to. Go talk to them about the air stuff. We need flyers. Go talk to Paku Man. And I was like, all right.
Oh, you're talking about when the Alliance are coming in.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, totally different quest. That's from a while ago.
I know, I haven't played in a while.
Okay.
I was getting caught up.
Yeah, okay, I get it now. I get what you're talking about.
So yeah, I'm about a patch behind in this game at the moment. So it's all part of it to me right now.
Gotcha.
So I was like, okay, the flyers, where would they be? Oh, probably up by the flight master. So over there I go. Nope. Nothing on my map. Nothing telling me where to go.
That's weird. I had no issues with that at all. Everything showed up for me.
None of it. And so, YouTube, where's Sky Admiral Paku fan number 97? Oh, he's over here. Okay. And then I walked over there and did that. And I was like, this game sometimes aggressively just like, I've probably been one of the bigger apologists for this expansion. In just that I had a lot of fun with it early on. But, man, sometimes this game just comes in and just goes, John, what do you think of this? And I'm like, guys, I get shit all the time for being too negative on this game. And they're like, I know, so what do you think of this? And they just start boxing me around. Because I'm just like, good Lord.
Well, overall, they were cool cutscenes, right? Oh, really? You didn't like it?
What? Them going...
You didn't like the fact that the Alliance just, like, totally duped us?
Yeah, that thing at the end was okay.
And you would think that someone might think that, hey, maybe this is a trick?
Yeah, someone might have said something.
Like, everyone. Just like, hey, let's go this way. Oh, shoot. Wrong way.
Oh, our whole army's over here? Weird. We should turn around and go back. It seems like this was a poorly constructed idea. It's
You'd
fine.
Think the flyers would have noticed first, but, whatever.
It's fine, but that was another... I mean, I don't think that one's a nitpick. Like, stuff not showing up on the map sucks, but... Especially if you're not going to write it in the quest text. That's where the problem is I was like, well, maybe I can use context clues.
It's funny because, we were just talking about the game evolving, and it involved, so that quest helper and stuff is a thing that's baked in now, so they don't write as much in the quest text. And then if some part of that breaks, then you have nothing to fall back on.
Yeah, and now it's just, I don't know what to do.
I wonder if maybe it was an add-on that was like kind of breaking it or something, because like I said, I can vouch that
I can guarantee it wasn't that, because right now, Ben, I have no add-ons.
Well, it's the fact that you have no add-ons that broke it. It's expecting at least something.
You need some add-ons. We're not going to let you progress this game any further until you get some add-ons.
Yeah, that's just weird, though.
So
you know what? Maybe it's one of those random things that just happened that no one ever thought of to check out in the pre-patch or something.
The YouTube video said something about this. The person doesn't show up on the map until you complete some weird thing. But if you're going to give me the quest, you should give me the ability to complete it. So
Did you have to kill 10 Forsaken first?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
Good.
No, I didn't.
You might have to do that later.
Oh, great. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, well, especially when the Thanos is like, hey, whatever you do, don't worry, I've got your back.
Thanks, Nathanos. You're the most trustworthy guy in the world. I'll put in a good word for you. No, you won't.
No, seriously, he's like, if you got to get your hands dirty, don't worry, it's because I told you to.
Does he go, I'll put in a good word? Because he really struggles with the fact that we can see his speech bubbles. Champions.
So you unlocked the Zandalari, huh? Did you make one?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I looked through the customizable options. I was like, man, these are pretty sweet. And then I logged out of the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of sitting in the same boat. I'm like, I like the idea of them. And I even toyed with race changing my Tauren. But I'm like, no, I kind of like having a Tauren Paladin.
Plus, they make you go through the whole thing if you want the armor.
Yeah.
And that's a bummer, because there are some that I'd like to just buy a race change for and be like, well, there you go, you're a Zandalari. But then it's like,
now look cool.
Well, now I need to make another Zandalari just to get the transmog.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do that knowing I'm going to give Blizzard more money for a race change at some point, because that was not the Zandalari that I wanted.
Well, let's put it this way. As soon as the Vulpira are in there, and if their heritage armor has them carrying a giant backpack, I'm all in.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
All right. We've nitpicked. We've complained a little bit. Let's do more. Let's talk about you and I dueling.
About the duel of ages.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to go into this, and I'm going to say that I started it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, without knowing, somewhere in there, the keybind to do like shift down on your action bar came unbound for me. So some macros that I had didn't work.
Okay. Well, a craftsman doesn't blame his tools.
No, I'm just saying that happened. It was weird and surprising to me.
All right.
Otherwise, it would have had my revival.
True craftsman doesn't blame his tools.
Yeah. Anyways, since you really want to talk about it, do you want to tell the folks what happened?
Well, so when it came time to unlock the Zandalari trolls, it was just one of those fun small world things. I go up, I'm hearing about how I'm the champion, I'm going to be a bit of a parade, in a bit of a parade. It was a bit of content that felt like it should have been phased, because it should have just been me, but here's an obnoxious panda in front of me.
Who had just heard about being the champion and how there's going to be a parade. And
taking up screen real estate on my big parade day.
Yeah, so then, I don't know, it was weird, this blood elf or undead? I forget what
Blood
you are
elf.
right now. Blood elf. So this blood elf is all like, hey, get out of here. I'm the champion.
Yep. Yeah, Ben just happened to be questing right in front of me on the same day and streaming because, you know, people voted incorrectly in a poll that he made. And so he shows up and he challenges me to a duel.
Yeah, because you doubted my championness.
I did. I still do. Ben challenged me to a duel, and I thought, all right, this is cute.
Thanks.
Now, I knew that it was going to be more challenging than when he's on his mage.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be... Because healers I struggle with. Because they can keep going and going and going. And then eventually I run out of cool tricks. And they're still going. And you're like... Ugh. All right, well, I can run away. But that's not super useful.
Well, I will say I was looking for you to vanish at some point, which you did.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Ben blames his key bindings.
No, I don't really blame them. I was just saying
He
I
blames
didn't
his
have access
win
to one of my big heals.
on a key binding. Here's where I get to say my little caveats. Here's what I would do different. This might be why I lost.
Okay.
Could play a role. Here's why I think I could beat you again. Or not
Okay.
again. Here's why I think I could beat you if
really?
we fought again. Ben won the duel. He won a fair duel. Let's be clear.
That's the first time you have ever said that. It is probably the last time you will ever say it.
Yes, because I think if we do it again, I think I got this. Problem number 1. I fought you the way I would fight your mage. I went very ham at the beginning, and then you put up the stupid absorb shield, and I was like, well, I just wasted so much. I just threw so much into this damn shield, it's embarrassing. Number 2. In theory, by the next time we fight, maybe my item level might be a little higher.
I will definitely give you that. I was about like 14 to 20 points higher than you or something.
Yeah, I think it was close to 20. Could have been 19 if you want to get exact math.
All I remember is that it was something teens, and for some reason 4 sticks in my mind, but I don't think it was 14. It was higher than that, but somewhere between that and 20.
Yeah. So, so maybe my eye level might be a little higher, and I might be able to just, have a little bit more gear going in my favor. Wicked's putting the clip in the chat for anybody who wants to watch it.
It's the very end, because the duel actually did last a little bit.
It did. Went for a while. Number 3, the third thing, besides strategy, better gear, is that I was already damn close, even without those things. It was really close. It was not a easy win. I made you earn your win.
Let's put it this way. I could have made it a lot less close, but instead of taking a second to heal myself, I'm like, I can probably get him down before I need to. So that's possibly, I would call that more even than it being super as close as you think it was. But that being said...
Oh, there's a 4th thing.
Okay.
Ben cheesed the opening, which actually is fair.
How did I cheese the opening?
By spinning on a stealthed rogue.
How is that cheating?
Because we should be allowed to ambush you.
No.
Yeah.
No, you know why? Because guess what? It's a duel. You use your tools, I use my tools.
All right.
I have, as a healer, like 3 attacks. So, no, 4 attacks. Sorry, because I have the spinny thing. And maybe if you're super far away, the lightning. So maybe 5 attacks if you want to call it that. So
right. Next time it's going to be different. And next time I am not going to let you be spinning on me when the fight starts.
Well, see, the thing is you vanished before it started. I didn't know where you went, so I just started going. I was going to try and go around and try to find you, and I figure if you got close enough, I might hit you so that you'd come out of stealth before you get a chance to stun me.
It's been a while since I've dueled. I didn't use a good strategy there. That's on me. I'm just saying this will be different next time.
Well, I'm sure it will.
And I look forward to it. It was fun.
Yeah. I did enjoy it. Not because I won, but because I haven't really dueled a whole lot in this expansion. Like, yeah, we ran around in war mode for a bit, but I wasn't by myself.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm on an entirely different character than when we used to duel all the time, it was a lot more fun.
Yeah, a little different than how the mage outcome usually went.
Yeah. Well, did I tell you about when I dueled Old Man Frank's just outside a raid like a couple weeks ago?
I think so. Maybe.
Yeah.
What was it?
I dueled him very easily. He was a mage.
Okay. Yeah, mages.
And I'm just kind of like, I will say that being a healer and dueling is kind of cheap because it's like, oh, there goes my health. Never mind.
It's back. Yeah.
Oh, too bad for you.
Yeah.
Yuck. But I like that I can survive a little bit more than when I was a mage.
Yeah.
That's probably, if there's one takeaway from all of that, it's that I'm very happy about that. And I mean, you got me down a whole, like, you definitely did way more damage on me than I did on you. Like, that hands down is what happened.
Right.
It's only because I had the staying power of being a healer. And I heard the little like Healy potion like ability that you have. I heard that a couple times here and there, and I saw your health go up. I'm like, oh damn. I'm like, I'm taking time to heal myself. So is he. Damn it.
Yep.
But that was great, and seeing a rogue actually attacking you, and then like seeing you pull out the pistol and shoot and stuff, I'm like, this is actually really cool to watch. So
rogues,
yeah,
dangerous. I was surprised. Honestly, the thing that surprised me the most was your damage output, because I was like, okay,
not that bad.
I know it's gonna take a century to get him down, but I think I can do it. And then I was like taking damage. I was like, Jesus, I'm taking a lot more damage than I thought I would be. And some of that again could be gear, but it was still a surprising amount of damage. I was like, oh, they actually hit pretty hard.
I could be wrong on this because I don't pay attention to this sort of stuff, but like whenever I'd be questing and everything like that, the mobs always had a debuff that was like % damage boost just from punching and kicking things because I'm a monk, I guess. But also the last 2 expansions I have pretty much only played as healer, so I'm used to actually trying to put forth damage, so I know the rotation. It's really easy. It's punch 3 times, blackout kick, which hits 3 times, and if you can do your backflip, do your backflip.
Yeah,
like that's that's super easy to do. So that's what I do. But yeah. Anyways, thank you for letting me do that too. I really did appreciate it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it was on stream. You gotta be proud of that.
I am. The beating you, not so much, just because, I mean, you're my friend, and we just have fun regardless, but it was just fun overall.
But you gotta admit, it was a little satisfying to win.
Part of it, considering you beat me so many times on my mage. Like, you beat me so many times before we had achievements, before that stat started tracking. I should really see.
I'm going to take Killing Spree the next time we duel, just so you get a fun reminder of what that was like.
Okay, I'll do my best to try to hit my bubble during that time. I'm like, oh, God. But if I remember correctly, I think I popped out the bird at one point, like right at the beginning.
I did see the bird, and I was like,
oh, okay,
damn
cool.
Bird on the field.
Yeah, basically I do that and it just automatically heals me for a while. So like if I'm ever like soloing out and doing something and like I get jumped, I'm just like, do that. I can focus on attacking for a while. I just, handed you my secret weapon. Mm-hmm. But anyways, no, that was really fun.
Next time.
And I gotta say, as much as we talk about how big the world is and how sometimes you do have that small world moment, anytime that I do just randomly like run into you, it's always fun.
It's happened a surprising amount, I feel like. I've bumped into you a lot of times in WoW. I don't know how much of that is intentional, but I feel like I bump into you a lot.
I'd say most of it is this expansion too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like this expansion tiny or anything like that, but I mean, yeah, we randomly see each other at the Great Seal. When we randomly see each other in Orgrimmar, that's when I'm like, why the hell are either of us here?
Yeah, what are we doing here, and what is going on?
Yeah, I think at one point you were like doing something. I just kind of showed him all, hey, then just ran away.
I think my favorite was when I was playing as my monk, and I bumped into, well, no, because that would have been your monk. I would have known that. There's one where you were on an alt, and I vaguely recognized the name of the alt, and I was like, I know this person. Like, I think they're on my friends list. And I scrolled, and then I saw you, and I was like, oh, it's Ben on an alt. Okay, that's what this name is.
Yeah.
It's very weird how often we bump into each other.
I think, no, it was, if I remember correctly, it's like you were in Orgrimmar, I think it was around like Christmas time, maybe?
Yeah.
And I was on my warrior.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Makes me wonder how often I bump into other people. I love messing with people when I run into someone I know in the world. Mm-hmm. I mean, we used to do that all the time back in like Burning Crusade. If you had the flying mount and someone else didn't, and you just put your shadow over the top of them as you're flying around. And,
every now and then you just stop. What's going on?
There's a dragon above me. I'm up here. It's me.
It's swooping down. Yeah, fun stuff like that's neat. And, one of the people that I always just, I don't know, if there's anyone who's random that I run into, it's always Lita. Sometimes it's MacGyver, but it's always Lita. Just I'm out in the world somewhere, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, Lita's just standing there. I'm like waving vigorously, and she's like, hi, and then we're like turn and then we just run away.
Yeah,
from each
then
other
it's
'cause we're doing
awkward. Then it's like seeing a coworker at the grocery store.
stuff. Exactly. Or like, oh geez, whenever you see like an elementary school teacher out in the world when you were a kid,
It's like,
no, you live at school.
I don't know what to do about this. No, retreat. It's weird.
It's like, oh no, my parents are going to say hi. Oh.
I like that you basically, just by the two people you say you bump into the most, were like, I play on Australian hours.
Apparently I do. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, kind of, yeah. I play late at night a lot of the time, at least on the weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, hi Lita, hi MacGyver.
Yeah, hello.
Yes. Yes. It's important that I say hi.
Okay.
That's one of the neat things about being in the guild that we're in, though, is like I almost always see someone with one of our guild tags out there, like just running around doing stuff anywhere I go.
And it's always fun to help them. You jump in and help someone with a fight or do something with someone. Actually, one of my favorite parts, so when you were streaming after I bumped into you, I was like, oh, that's right, Ben said he was streaming tonight, so I pulled up your stream. Yep. So we had bumped into each other, and then I pulled it up, and I thought one of the funniest moments from that, and a good example of what we were talking about earlier, was that moment where you got in a fight with the widow lady, and you're like punching her, and you said something like, come on, John, catch up. And I had already killed her and moved on to the next step because it turns out that fight is phased. The fight before it, no, we were fighting together. Mm-hmm. And then you went into the phase to fight her, and then I went into the phase to fight her. And, you being a healer and me being damaged, I killed her very quickly, and you were still punching her, and you're like, come on, John, catch up. Help me fight this lady. And I'm like, off doing the next part of the quest.
Yeah. Yeah, I get to the very top, I'm like, oh, he's already here. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, when you were running in to do your final turn in to go talk to her up on the throne, I had finished, and that's when I sent you the message that said catch up, champion.
Yeah, then you jumped off. I'm like, oh, that was such a cool exit. Yeah. Darn. Okay, so another thing about that.
Okay.
I love that like her entire council got webbed.
Yeah.
They're just like up there like, okay, cool.
What do you think of my new council? Too prone to webs, number one.
Yeah, well, the really cool thing is that one of those Zandalar brutes or whatever, he was walking around the Great Seal. I'm like, who's this guy? So I right click on him and talk to him and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool, new guy. That's great. We're in a new patch. There's stuff phased. This is neat. Then I get there, I'm like, oh, he's on the council.
Oh, that's why he's here.
Cool.
Good on him, I
guess. Loa that I don't even know about. This is great.
he's fantastic, I guess. They needed a Hulk, I assume.
Yeah.
For the Zandalari Avengers.
Climbing those stairs and seeing all the different Loa around, but it's like, oh, only 4 matter.
Yeah. These are the ones.
I'm just like, okay.
I still like the trash Loa. She's the best.
Heck. Yeah. Man, I'm still walking around with like some golden thing or like some random trash item that it's got to be for one of her piles, but I don't know which one it is. Because like I go up to one, it's like, you don't have anything for me. I'm like, oh,
I do, something. But why do I have to be at a specific pile to give it to you?
It's like,
how does this
I'm
work?
not sure. I should probably look it up on Wowhead. Otherwise, I'd just get rid of it because it's just taking up space in my bag.
I know. There's been some stuff like that where I'm like, I don't know what to do with this.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what you find out. It's like, this is just junk. Doesn't get labeled as junk. Ends up in your inventory.
I still have, what was it?
There's a note that I have that I don't have anything to do with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like a diary or a note or something like that, and it's like, this is an interesting book. Okay. Well, nobody really wants it, and it's not considered trash, but I guess I'll just carry it with me everywhere I go now.
Yeah, in case you get bored.
I guess. I mean, they did all those things to free up inventory slots. They got to put something
Fill
in
it
there.
with something. Yeah. Well, it's like, oh, you know what? Actually, I need to check my bank. I don't know if I still have it or not, but what was it, like the Siren's Tear or something like that? One of the 4 pillars of creation.
Yeah, that
just stays in your bag.
I think, does it have a gold price? I feel like you can sell it, but I haven't done it yet because I'm like, well, surely I wouldn't want to sell this. This is a pillar of creation.
I don't think it did.
Or does it just, you just have it?
Yeah, I think you just have it.
Oh, man.
It's like, oh, it's just in my bank.
Like, either way, I don't get rid of it because it's
a pillar of creation.
It's a pillar of creation, and you are woefully under not giving me what it's worth if it is sellable. I don't even care. It could say 5,000 gold. That pillar of creation is worth more than that.
It's like, no, you should be giving me all the gold.
Yeah, I should get a Black Widow mount for this pillar of creation.
Oh my god. Okay, so did I tell you about the opulence fight?
No.
Okay, it's the one where at the very end you fight a big giant pile of money.
Oh yeah, where you got your crown.
Yeah. So we beat it last week again, and we ended up extending this week, which is why we didn't beat it this week. So in the arena and everything, we're in there. It's like, okay, this is cool. This is really neat. I'm, loving this. And then we were moving on to the next one, and I took a moment and just started looking around. Holy crap, dude. The Zandalari have a money bin. Mm-hmm. It's like you walk over to the edge and look down, and there's just gold everywhere. Coins are raining from the ceiling into where it is and everything. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, this is really freaking cool. And I wish you could just jump in and dive around.
Yeah, you want to talk about ludonarrative dissonance. How about the fact that I'm a rogue in a friggin' treasure vault and I walk away from it? Are you out of your mind? I'm done by the time we get there. That's the end of the raid for me. I fill my bags, and then I raid again when I've spent my millions of gold. That's how it works.
Well, technically, you're Alliance at that point.
All right, well...
But you would be an Alliance rogue.
The point still stands.
So still could happen.
Because there's that Lich King dungeon where you start in a treasure room, and I was like, why don't I just come in here and go...
Is it all cursed? I mean, there's skeletons walking around it.
Maybe. I'll be cursed.
There's
I've been
also the
undead
T800
before.
arm.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Then all of a sudden...
I'll throw it into Ragnaros and prevent the future.
Oh, man, that'd be great, actually.
It just goes into him and just...
He's all, what is this?
Then you throw a human into it and his hand just goes into Ragnaros.
Would it be a human or an undead? What do you think?
It'd be a human that, as you shot him, would look undead underneath.
Okay, that works.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Well, hey, John. That's a lot of goofiness.
Yeah.
I think we're probably good. What do you think?
It's a filler episode anyway. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. No one's going to listen to this.
Yeah. No.
All right. Well, hey, John, thank you very much for joining me on this wonderful Friday night. As always, it has been a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
On this show
Great.
that I'm on.
You bet. Well, I mean, technically, I could have done it without you, but why would I?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Well,
Until next time, John, let's make this less awkward and tell me where people can find you.
Hey, if you want to hear more from me, follow me on Twitter at John_Jagger. I'll let you know where I'll be. If you want to hear me talking about video games, you can listen to Core, which is the
It's the game for heroes. Or the show for heroes.
Which is a heroic podcast about video games.
Yeah.
Sometimes we talk about games like Heroes of the Storm. I don't know. We talk about a lot of games.
Okay.
This last week we talked about I don't
Video
remember.
games?
Mostly the most recent episode, what I remember is okay, Ben. We'll get you
Yes.
we'll pull you into the argument. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Let's say you wake up and you don't feel good.
Okay.
You feel really bad.
Okay.
And you're not going to be able to go into work.
Mm-hmm.
And so you decide, well, I need to do something. What do you do?
It depends on how bad I feel.
You are definitely not going to work.
Okay. That doesn't help. Because there are layers to that. There is I feel like death not going to work, and the I don't feel great, I'm not going to work.
What's the action you take to make sure that they know you're not coming in?
Oh, I don't go out into the world and do things. Oh, do you mean call them and say, hey, I'm not going to work?
Yes. What would you describe that process as?
Oh, I'm calling off.
Calling off? What the fuck is wrong with you? That's not even a choice.
Okay, I'm calling in to work? Calling in sick? Like, what are you trying to find?
Okay, never mind. Ben's wrong. He continues to be wrong. He called out sick is what he did.
No, I called off sick. I'm off work. I'm not out of
You
work.
can't
I'm
introduce the third element to this argument, Ben. I literally can't. Okay.
Well, okay,
so,
there is a Weird Al song calling in sick today. Is that what it is?
No, that's not what it is.
Well, is that what the argument is?
Yes.
It's either calling in or calling out?
Yes.
No, I'm calling off.
Ew. Ew. All right, well, okay. The core crew will universally agree that Ben's wrong and continue to argue amongst itself as to who's wrong and right about calling out or calling in. Either way, that's what I remember, but I'm pretty sure we also talked about video games.
See, I thought you were leading me to, do you play video games when you feel sick and call off of work?
Universally agreed Ben is wrong. We have found peace in our mutual, really, this is the end of Watchmen.
So I'm the giant squids or or Dr. Manhattan?
Yeah, you're the giant squid alien that we can all agree on.
I'm glad I could help. I really am.
Ben, thank you so much for being
in Ohio it's called calling off. What do you know? There's a state that follows.
Okay, go live in Ohio, Ben.
Wow.
With other people who like potatoes or something.
That's Idaho, you dumbass.
Maybe they have them in Ohio. Anyway, Core
huh?
is a show about video games.
Great.
So check it out.
Thanks, Draven.
Anyway, then I also do you completely.
Do you do another show or anything with some of the same people?
Some of the same people get together, unless someone calls out. They don't call off. Nobody calls off, Ben. We do a show called There Will Be Dungeons, which is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast that takes place in a post-apocalyptic future with a bunch of fantasy stuff, and it's a lot of fun, and you should check it out. That's cool. We play D&D. We tell a story. We have characters. It's very exciting. We also have tea.
Yes.
It's the only show I do that has a line of tea.
Which, if you listen to all of last week's episode, there was an ad for that at the very end of the episode.
A quality ad. Put me on advertising, because I'm good at it.
I don't know if you know, it was also sent to Scott.
Nice. Great. Perfect. We got it.
Yeah, apparently we cracked him up, according to him.
Great. He didn't tell me anything about it.
Okay.
But
he probably forgot. It's forgettable.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where you can find me. More information about that show at therewillbedungeons.com. Check us out tomorrow or every Saturday, streaming at 2 p.m. Pacific, mostly. Ben.
So it's 2 p.m. for you now, huh?
Yeah, it's 2 p.m. now, not 3. It's now 2 p.m.
Yes.
Ben.
Yes.
Where can people mostly find you?
Well, they can mostly find me on Twitter. I'm at Ben the Mage. I also stream sometimes.
Mostly.
Generally, it's been Tuesdays. That's kind of like the day that I tend to stream. I try to stream around 8 p.m. Pacific. Generally. I was excited about the new patch, so I put the poll out there on Twitter this week if I should do WoW or continue with Last of Us.
They always pick WoW, Ben.
I know. I'm realizing that.
You need to learn from my mistakes. Anytime I've ever put WoW on the poll, WoW wins. And look, all right, if you're hearing this, obviously you care about WoW, and you've probably picked WoW in one of my polls before, and that's very sweet of you, and I love it. It's just the problem is I don't understand the desire to watch someone play WoW. And I know that makes me sound like the old people that are like, I I just don't understand why someone would want to watch someone else game, which I do. And every time I hear someone say that, I go, get with the program, Grandpa. It's what we do now. And so
you just don't get it, Mom.
So I totally understand. It's just, I don't understand why you want to see it. So when I do it, I'm like, well, here I am because you voted for it.
Draven says that we do it just to make sure that you play WoW.
Ben has recent Twitch evidence that I play WoW.
Yes, I dueled him there.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you want to watch me on Twitch, I'm twitch.tv/BenBumhofer. It's my name. So you can, find that and stuff.
Not your class.
No, not my class.
You're not
my
Ben
name.
the streamer or anything like that.
Oh, man, I should do that. I should switch it to Ben the streamer. That'd be pretty dumb, though.
You just Ben the whatever you're in. If you're playing Anthem, Ben the Javelin. If you're playing Ben the Last of Us.
I've got an upset Anthem story, but I'll tell you after we're done with the show and closing up. Other than that, definitely keep an eye on my Twitter because there is something down the pipes. It's coming. It's coming. It's going to be recorded and put out soon. You will know what that is later on.
Ben the Noun is a really good Twitter name if you ever decide to get away from all this fantasy stuff.
I might do that.
Except people will misread it as Ben the Nun.
Yeah, they will, and I'm not a nun. Not that there's anything wrong with being a nun. It's just not for me.
Right.
Anyways, this show, though, Azeroth Roundtable, if you want to actually catch us live, you can follow us on Twitch. We are twitch.tv/AzerothRT, and we just happen to have a sub button. If you want to, throw an Amazon Prime sub at us, you can do that. If you think that we're awesome and want to just let us know, do stuff like that. I don't know how to really talk about that. Other than, hey, watch us on Twitch Friday nights, because we have fun here. Other than that, you can follow us on Twitter. We are at AzerothRT. And every single episode we have ever done is on AzerothRoundtable.com, as well as on iTunes and other, fine places where you can find podcasts and whatnot. And, of course, if you want to tell us about the time that John beat you in a duel, you can send those emails to AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com.
All right. I don't think that's going to lead to a lot of emails, but they can certainly do it.
If you want to tell us about a time you wish that John had beaten you at a duel.
Ooh, those are going to be spicy emails.
Actually, more like the times that you wish you'd beat John at a duel.
That would be equally spicy, just from another perspective. Sometimes you're on top, sometimes you're on bottom. Hey, everybody, speaking of tops and bottoms, patreon.com/AzerothRT is where people of all walks of life go to help us out with the show. We appreciate them, all of them. Even if you're not a patron, we still appreciate you too. That's the secret. But right now, we got to make it seem like we only appreciate patrons. So those of you who aren't patrons, bear with us. We still really like you, but we got to make the others feel really special for a while too. All right, now that we've got them not listening, patrons.
Hey, John, remember how you're all like, you should be an ad man?
Patrons, you are the most important people in the world to us. Forget what you might have heard. You're the ones we really care about. And so a special thank you to the Murloc Club, Brandon O, Caleb M, Jesse O, Jim G, Haster, Sash, and Aaron. Thank you for being part of the Murloc Club. That's Murloc for You're Even Better Than the Best. And, you don't have to be part of the Murloc Club. You can support us in any way you deem fit. Patreon.com/AzerothRT. Now, I'm going to say some stuff that really walks back what I just said, but all of you in the Patreon area, I just got to appeal to everybody now. So patreon.com/AzerothRT. All right, now that we're done talking about Patreon, I love everybody equally. Whether they support us or not, you're all great. You're all the best. You're all our favorite listeners.
That's very true. We do actually really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much for downloading, listening live, however you're consuming us.
Ew.
Weird, yeah. Anyways, thank you. We really do appreciate it. And, check us out next week. Tell your friends. We talk about weird stuff. Anyways, John, thank you for joining me again this week.
They ended talking about consuming them.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. It's real
Cannibal Roadshow.
specialty kind of show.
Yeah.
Got awkward at the end.
It does that sometimes. But with that, everybody, thank you again. And be good to each other. That's where we're leaving it, yeah.
Yep.
Us having an awkward ending, John? What are you talking about? That never happens here.
We're not used to awkward endings around these parts.
Saving the file as art show.
Art show.
So, dude, I know your feelings on Anthem.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to stop the YouTube recording because they don't need to know your Anthem
Nah,
story.
they don't need to know.